everyone, welcome back to my channel. I believe most of you guys have known that SPM 2020 actually is the last batch that uses the KSSM syllabus. Starting 2021, actually they have changed the syllabus to KSSM, and then a lot of students actually said that KSSM is actually harder than KBSM. Actually, it's quite true because they have added actually quite a lot of new syllabus in there, especially like maths or maybe like biophysics chemistry or maybe like the BM, BI. Actually they added quite a few like new syllabus in there. And then people may ask, how about Bible knowledge? SPM Bible knowledge, is there like any changes in the exam format? This video, I'm going to share with you guys about some of the news, some of the changes of SPM Bible knowledge for the KSSM syllabus. So actually, I'm going to put a picture over here so that you can go and check it out. Alright, so first and foremost, we are going to look at the objective pentaksiran. Why are we looking at this objective? Because the exam format, okay, or maybe how the question will come out, it is going to be based on this objective. So we are going to look at it one by one. Okay, let's look at the first objective. Okay, menyatakan nama orang atau tempat yang terlibat dalam peristiwa tertentu. Okay, so I believe all of you actually understand this statement. It actually means that the exam may ask you to state, okay, who is present in this part or in this incident, or maybe they may ask you, this incident happened at what place? Like for example, the crucifixion of Jesus. Okay, we know that it actually happens at the skull, right or not? So a question like this may come out in your SPM. So now let's look at the second objective. So, mengenal pasti, menceritakan dan menghuraikan parables dan sebab-sebab berlakunya sesuatu peristiwa. Okay, this part is actually quite the same with the KBSM one. It's actually telling you that they may ask you to narrate parables or some of the incident that happened in the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostle. So for example, they may ask you to like give an account of the parable of the shrewd manager. Then you need to write out the whole part of the parable of the shrewd manager. Okay, let's look at the third objective. So, membuat kesimpulan tentang ajaran melalui parables atau peristiwa. Okay, what is this statement trying to tell us? It's actually trying to tell us that we need to understand the parable and we need to understand all the incident of the story, okay, in Luke and in Acts. So actually, taking Bible knowledge is not about memorizing passages only. We need to understand what the passage means, because the exam may ask you like, what is the lesson of this part? Maybe make a conclusion of this part. So you need to understand the whole passage. Then only you can know how to answer it. Actually, for me personally, I think this part is actually quite a good part because it tests you about whether you understand this part or not just memorizing only. Let's look at the fourth point. The fourth point states that membuat perbandingan dan berkaitan antara parables, peristiwa atau peranan orang utama. Okay, so this part is telling us that you may need to compare some of the parts. So for example, like the part where Jesus calls Levi and Zacchaeus, the chief tax collector. So both of these men are tax collector, right or not? So they may ask you to compare, what are the differences between these two parts? Another example which is taken from Acts is when Peter raised Dorcas from the dead at Joppa, and when Paul raises Eutychus from the dead at Troas. Because these two incidents actually states that the apostles raised someone from the dead. So basically this part we can know that they may ask you to compare what are the differences between these two parts. Alright, so let's look at the fifth point. The fifth point states that menilai peranan orang utama dan istimewa dalam peristiwa atau parables tertentu serta kepentingan impak sesuatu kejadian atau peristiwa. What is this statement trying to tell us? It's actually trying to tell us that we need to like understand who is the main subject in this incident or in this parable. So basically, we need to know some of the important points in the parable. Like for example, the parable of the prodigal son. Then maybe you need to understand that actually the main character in this the parable of the prodigal son is the father, the prodigal son, and the elder brother. Right? So basically, these are the 5 points of the objective that we need to know, because the exam will based on this part, will based on these 5 statements and come out to ask you the question. Actually, I've put a picture over here. This is the format for the SPM Bible knowledge. There's some changes here. There's some difference between the old syllabus, the KBSM one, and the new syllabus. So let's look at this part. The third part, you can go and look at the bilangan. So we can know that there's section A, B, and C. So let's look section by section. For section A and section B, they are quite the same. It's just that section A is for the Gospel of Luke and section B is for the book of Acts. They are going to come out 3 questions per section. So that means you have 6 questions, and then each question it carries 5 marks. It's going to be like a short question, so we call it context question. So we can look at this example over here. You can have a look for section A, the first one. When Jesus saw how much faith they had, he said to the man, "Your sins are forgiven, my friend." The teacher of the law and the Pharisees began to say to themselves, "Who is this man who speaks such blasphemy?" And then they will give you a Bible verse. And then you need to answer the questions at A and B. And of course, we know that actually this part is the incident where Jesus healed a paralyzed man. For section B, it's actually also the same. We can look at it. We can look at one of the questions over there. Like the first question, after saying this, he, which is Jesus, was taken up to heaven as they watched him, and the cloud hid him from their sight. Okay, so this part is actually the part where Jesus was taken up to heaven, and then you need to answer question A and question B. Okay, now let's look at section C. Section C is the main difference between KBSM and KSSM. In section C, okay, let's look at section C part 1 first. In part 1, there are 2 questions that you need to choose from. You need to answer one of the questions. One of them is from Acts and one of them is from Luke. And then this part is the part where you need to understand the meaning, you need to understand the lesson of an incident, and then you need to know how to apply this to your life. So let's look at one of the questions. Simon from Cyrene carried the cross for Jesus. What does carrying the cross mean to you? Then you need to write a 10 marks passage or maybe a short paragraph about it. So basically, I think this part is actually a very good part to test the student whether they understand what the meaning of carrying the cross is, or maybe to test them about each of the part. You can ask them, or maybe you can test them whether they understand it or not. So I think the KSSM syllabus is actually quite good and quite useful for the students because they will understand more about each part and not just memorizing only. Okay, let's look at the part 2 of section C. Actually, the part 2 for section C, there are 4 questions, and then these 4 questions are essay questions. 2 of them are from Luke, 2 of them are from Acts, and then you need to choose 3 questions to answer. Okay, and then this is the whole video about this KSSM syllabus. Hopefully this video will be helpful for everyone to understand about the new syllabus for KSSM SPM Bible Knowledge. God bless all of you guys, and then see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.